All right, take a moment to listen to this little 2-minute clip from former President Donald Trump and current presidential candidate talking about the chronic disease epidemic.
There's been an unexplained and alarming growth in the prevalence of chronic illnesses and health problems, especially in children. We've seen a stunning rise in autism, autoimmune disorders, obesity, infertility, serious allergies, and respiratory challenges. It's time to ask, what is going on? Is it the food that they eat, the environment that we live in, the overprescription of certain medications? Is it the toxins and chemicals that are present in our homes? Every year we spend hundreds of billions of dollars to treat these chronic problems rather than looking at what is causing them in the first place. Too often our public health establishment is too close to big pharma. They make a lot of money, big pharma, big corporations and other special interests, and does not want to ask the tough questions about what is happening to our children's health. If big pharma defrauds American patients and taxpayers or puts profits above people, they must be investigated and held accountable. When I'm back in the White House, I will establish a special presidential commission of independent minds who are not bought and paid for by big pharma, and I will charge them with investigating what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic illnesses. I understand big pharma, I believe, better than anybody else. I know where they're coming from. And then I will ask them to publish recommendations for how every American child can have a safe and healthy childhood. This is a conversation that is long overdue, and it's a conversation that American families deserve. American families must have this conversation, and they must have a leader, a president, who can do something about this problem. And I will do that.
All right, well, obviously campaign promises are one thing. I mean, we've all heard campaign promises, and, how often do they get acted upon? Probably, 10% of the time or something like that. So I'm not going to hold my breath. And again, we don't know who's going to be in office, 6 months from now. So we'll see what happens. But, I've now heard Robert F. Kennedy talking about this issue quite extensively. I'm actually doing an interview with his running mate, Nicole Shanahan, in a couple of weeks to talk about these issues, I assume. And now we have former President Donald Trump talking about this as well. So that is at least a good sign. I don't know if Biden has touched on this significantly. I don't recall seeing him talk about this to this degree. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. Maybe some of you guys can share if he has or has not. And the reason, honestly, these presidential candidates are finally at least talking about this stuff is because of what you guys are doing on social media, putting out all the information, talking about how effed up, excuse my language, how effed up the healthcare system is, how screwed up our food system is. And it is, and it's clear. It is clear this is one of, if we talk about existential threats, continued chronic disease is an existential threat to our thriving as a species, as our survival as a species. I mean, we're seeing fertility rates going down, probably in no small part due to the fact that everybody's so damn sick. And if we do not address that, then we are going to just fail as a society. We're going to collapse into a big blob of obesity, right? This is what we've got on the table if we don't do anything about this. So it's good to see that. Obviously I have many, many thoughts and ideas around how to address these things, but hopefully, and I know some of the people that are influencing these campaigns, friends of mine, guys like Callie Means, has discussions with senior people in these various campaigns. Of course, I think that it needs to be done. It needs to happen. Let me know what you think. Who would be the best person to make these changes? And do you think anyone can make the changes? Do you think a system is so entrenched with corporate greed and malfeasance and influence that we can't change it? I'm optimistic that we can. I don't know that the politicians or the government's going to do it. I think it's dependent upon a grassroots movement. But if the government decides, hey, we're going to try to do something, that wouldn't be bad. Well, maybe it would, depending what they pick. Maybe they want to force everybody to be on a vegan diet, which would be absolutely friggin' idiotic. And I'm going to do everything I can to hopefully sway enough people so that doesn't happen. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Talk to you soon.